wide open spaces of the American Southwest, people are spotting things in the sky.
Yeah, she saw it.
Okay, well that's probably a sighting then.
Yeah, because it wasn't blinking.
Okay.
Was it our first sighting? The question of life beyond Earth has always divided public opinion.
The United States government has known there's an extraterrestrial presence and has had in its possession extraterrestrial technology since July of 1947.
The US government is conducting new research into unidentified flying objects.
There has to be an explanation why, in a worldwide phenomena, the truth embargo is a worldwide thing.
And I'm on a journey to meet the people who are dedicating their lives to proving that we're not alone. Do you remember what they looked like?
Oh yeah, you know, large head, big eyes, almond-shaped, you know, large eyes.
And for one religious group, extraterrestrials hold the key to the meaning of life.
No God, no evolution, but scientists from another planet who came here and created all life on Earth.
Flying objects, unexplained lights, images in the skies. The questions surrounding UFO sightings have puzzled witnesses and government officials for nearly a century. And last year, something groundbreaking happened. A report by the US government openly acknowledging what they describe as unidentified aerial phenomena. 1/3 of Americans say they believe some UFOs are alien spacecraft, and around 75% of Americans believe that some form of life exists elsewhere in the universe. There are many who think that the US government has far more information than they are willing to release. I've always been interested in the idea of UFOs, so I'm on a journey to find out more. My first stop is Arizona to meet someone who's dedicating her life to connecting with extraterrestrials.
Nice.
Yunus.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you. Melinda Leslie says that she has been abducted by extraterrestrials multiple times. She is now a popular UFO sighting guide, providing paid tours for hundreds of people each year.
I'm most known here in Sedona for my UFO sighting tours, which is where I take people out with military night vision goggles to have UFO sightings. All I could recall was seeing 3 gray aliens next to the bed. And I was like, okay, this is crazy, you know. And eventually, about that and other experiences, I sought the help of a psychotherapist recommended to me, a full-fledged PhD psychologist.
So you didn't believe it at first?
No, not at all. No, I thought I was losing my mind.
So you have no recollection of
No.
how you were abducted, where you were taken to?
In that experience, no. In other experiences, yes. I've had them repeatedly throughout my life.
Do you remember what they looked like?
Oh yeah. These were grays. These were your standard, you know, large head, big eyes, almond-shaped, you know, large eyes. I was immobilized. I was floated out the back, and then we're standing on the road, and just kind of around the bend from right where we were pulled over was a large craft. This is gonna sound so corny, but it's what we remember is like a ramp coming down the road to the road, and this giant large craft. I don't think it was parked.
Like a
I think it was
spaceship.
hovering. Yeah, large spaceship.
How do you communicate with the aliens? Do they speak English or?
Telepathy.
Although I find it very difficult to believe Melinda's stories, I do want to find out more, so I'm taking one of her tours myself. And this is where we're going to camp basically for the next couple of hours. And when the sun sets, this sighting is going to start.
Those are high powered. Those are 500 milliwatt. He said this is like 20 times what one of those.
How far does that go?
Over 100 miles. We only have one planet visible in tonight's sky. Well, technically we have 2, because we have this guy right here. Oh, right.
That's right. No, go down a little bit. There.
Yeah.
No, to the left.
Laser.
Yeah, there.
Oh, that object.
You're on it.
Oh, very good. Okay, well, that's probably a sighting then.
Yeah, because it wasn't blinking.
Okay.
Was it our first sighting? So now the show is about to start. I got my military-style night goggles and my laser to pinpoint any unidentified flying objects in the air.
A really good sighting. I call that big light. Now, I'm getting a big psychic hit. What that means, I'm surprised I didn't get before that big guy, but I don't always get it. But I'm feeling like, pay attention, pay attention. When I get that hit, return clients will tell you my hit rate's probably like 75%. That is way too fast to be a satellite. Flashy, please. Flashy, please.
One explanation for the sightings is that some fast-moving lights appear due to a reflection just after sunset from small satellites launched into orbit to provide internet to underserved areas. There were some lights in the sky and I couldn't make sense of them, but I'm learning that UFO sightings are more common than I thought. From 1947 to 1969, at the height of the Cold War, more than 12,000 UFO sightings were reported to Project Blue Book, a small, top-secret US Air Force team tasked with investigating the incidents. But many people, including members of the armed forces, didn't speak openly about sightings for fear of being branded crazy. In recent years though, there has been a push by prominent scientists for the serious study of UFOs. I'm headed northwest of Sedona to Las Vegas, where one religious group believe they have found the true meaning of life.
The Raelian philosophy, first and foremost, brings about a new explanation on the origin of life on Earth. No God, no evolution, but scientists from another planet who came here and created all life on Earth.
Followers of the Rael religion believe that an extraterrestrial species known as Elohim created humanity using advanced technology. The movement was founded in the 1970s by a Frenchman who calls himself Rael. He claims he's part human, part extraterrestrial. I've been invited to take part in a Raelian meditation by Thomas Kenzig, who's the most senior Raelian in America.
And now again you send them all your love, all your smiles, and you see your own face smiling. Beautiful smiles, sprinkles of love coming down on them.
I found the meditation relaxing, but the Raelian philosophy is difficult to take in.
We can find traces of their creation story in all the ancient religious books. The book that is most commonly known in the Western world, the Bible, refers to them as Elohim. Elohim is a word that was later mistranslated into the word God, a singer God, which is probably the biggest lie on this planet. There's never been a singer God. But Elohim, actually literally translated, means those who came from the sky. And then started to create life, as it says in the Bible, in their likeness and their image. So these Elohim, these extraterrestrial creators, they are like us, since they created us in their image.
Raelians believe in open love and even advocate for women to go topless in the interest of equality. Human cloning is another priority. They hope to develop adult clones into which humans could transfer their brains with the ultimate goal of eternal life.
Why would I want to live forever? Because I enjoy life. And that's why it's so important to be happy.
The leader, Rael, set up a company called Clonate. It later became a privately run operation by a Raelian bishop named Dr. Brigitte Bazelier. In December 2002, Clonate stunned the world by announcing that a woman had given birth to the first ever cloned human being, a baby girl called Eve. But no evidence has ever been provided.
The symbol we are wearing, yes, all of us have it. It's the Raelian symbol, it's the symbol of infinity. And it has two parts to it. It's the two triangles you can see, which people know as the Star of David. This represents infinity in space. And then we have the swastika, representing infinity in time.
Leah Steinman is a Raelian guide. Every year the Raelians gather at an event they call the Happiness Academy, where they listen to the man they call the Prophet, Rael himself.
During these 7 days, in a group, we will do meditation, we will share the philosophy, we will train ourselves to be happy constantly. And why we do that? Because we want to give this happiness to others so we can save humanity again.
Members of the religion want to build an embassy for the extraterrestrials.
It's really a sign for us to show to the Elohim that we are ready. to show that humanity is ready to welcome them. Let's say you pay $100 to the US Raelian movement, $70 of that goes to the international Raelian movement and is put aside for the building of the embassy.
We need to contribute, just like any other church, 20% of your making, and then that's why we can keep going the Raelian actions.
Leah's partner Claude, also a Raelian, is an architect by trade and is designing the building, a home for the Elohim and for their leader Rael, who is currently living in Japan.
The guide of the guide can live on the embassy, has his residence to maintain the embassy, and when the Elohim come, he will be a permanent resident because he is the guide of the guide, the representative of the Raelian people in the world.
The Raelians seemed like a peaceful group of people, but I didn't feel like I was leaving Las Vegas any closer to understanding UFOs, and the US government's report only seems to raise more questions than answers. So it's time to talk to some guys who are campaigning for more scientific research on the matter. Meet Ron James from the Mutual UFO Network.
It seems as though what we're being told is almost a verbatim repeat performance of things that we've been told before.
Ron is joined by Steve Bassett, who's the only UFO lobbyist in America. He believes there has been a government-imposed truth embargo on an extraterrestrial presence engaging the human race.
The United States government has known there's an extraterrestrial presence and has had in its possession extraterrestrial technology since July of 1947.
In 1947, a rancher found a wreckage around 75 miles north of Roswell in New Mexico. The next day, the existence of a flying saucer was confirmed, but US Army officials quickly backtracked, saying that the debris was actually from a weather balloon.
If people are a little confused by it, they need to understand the government's problem. They have known since at least 1947, and now they have to tell us 75 years later, and that's not easy to do.
So many presidents, so many different administrations, Republicans and Democrats. Why keep it a secret?
When we look at the reason for the secrecy, there's several. One is the technology. Whoever has it wants it and wants it to themselves.
Are you expecting a full-blown UFO disclosure?
All the preparation is there. Witnesses are available, politicians are on board, the Intel Committee is front and center. I believe that the Intel Committee could very well set a hearing date for military witnesses on this issue as early as mid-March.
About the Pentagon report, when you're looking at that report, what does it tell you?
Well, they've told us something new. They're not ruling out ETs. Well, they didn't rule out ETs back then. We have gone full circle to end up very close to the same official stance. Now, there are certain circumstances now in the modern time that are making it harder and harder to keep this secret. We have the privatization of space. We have a general realization all across the planet and all across contemporary science that there absolutely must be a universe teeming with life.
Skeptics say that the US government's findings are based on second-hand analysis by researchers with a pro-ET bias. Put simply, they say UFOs are not from another planet, but Steve is firm in his convictions.
There's 7 billion people on this planet, and they're all going to have to deal with the reality of ETs.
The Office of the Director of National Intelligence didn't answer our request for an interview. Their latest report on UAPs is viewed by some as a historic step forward. For others, it's an attempt to control the narrative. The existence of UFOs is a divisive topic, and whatever side of the fence you sit on, as the saying goes, the truth is out there.